Alright, so let's just get straight into it. The first scapular movement is scapular retraction. As you see me demonstrating here, my arms are straight, and what I'm doing is I'm bringing my shoulders closer together. This is from behind how it looks, so you can clearly see that I'm creating a line in the middle of my back, which means that I'm retracting my scapula correctly. This is important because, for example, front levers or any sort of exercise like that, this is the kind of motion that you want to get used to holding, and it's one of the first ones that any beginner can really do. It's a bit easier than the rest, so that's why I'm including it first in the video. You can even try it right now if you have access to a pull-up bar or any low bars next to you in your house. So this is one exercise. You can just do like rows with straight arms, as you see me doing here. I'm pulling my shoulders down and back, more so back than anything else, just to make my shoulder blades touch. That's really what scapular retraction is all about, and it's very useful for any type of back movement or other movement where you want to feel the contraction in your back. So I'm just going to demonstrate what most people do on the rows here. They just go kind of flying through it up and down, but what you can do instead, which is much better, is retract, pull and hold. And then training like this is really going to work your mind to muscle connection in your back as well. So you want to retract, pull and hold. So that retraction is like an activation of your back muscles, and then what happens is if you pull up and hold, you're contracting them maximally. Alright, let's move on to scapular elevation. This is basically straight arms again, and what you want to do is push up to the sky with straight arms. This is like a side angle, and let's look at the angle from behind. So I'm just raising my shoulders up with straight arms. This one is actually a lot harder than the previous one, but with that being said, it is going to help you unlock a harder skill as well, so it's definitely worth it. So yeah, that skill, no surprise, is going to be the handstand, as you see me doing here, assisted, because you can't really do this in a handstand. But anyway, so assisted, you're just pressing down with straight arms, and you're bringing your ears closer to your shoulders, and then you're bringing your head closer to the ground, and you're basically just doing this for reps. This really elongates your body and straightens it out. So if you're doing handstands and you're having trouble holding it, and you look like I do here, where you're kicking up, falling out, kicking up, falling out, there's a high chance that you're not actually elevating your scapula properly. But here, for example, in the hold, I'm actively pushing down into the ground with straight arms, and that is keeping my body nice and straight. You're going to see the difference on this when you do it against the wall for the first time. It really is a game changer for handstands. Now let's move on to protraction. This one is by far the hardest one, and it will also help you unlock the harder skill, which is the planche. What this basically entails is straight arms and moving your shoulder blades away from each other. That's why it's so hard, because it's not really a natural movement unless you're training specifically for calisthenics. You're not really going to ever have to do this in life. So it's very specific for those that want to unlock the planche. So that's shoulder blades together, and that's protraction. So shoulder blades away from each other. That's going to allow you to then suck in your core and then hold a nice planche. So in this occasion, or in this exercise, I'm just doing a planche lean for the demonstration purposes. I'm pushing down with straight arms, and I'm focusing on bringing my shoulder blades away from each other, so creating a nice curve in my back. So yeah, so what you want to do, these are basically protraction push-ups. This is the exercise that you would start off with. So just learn to bring your shoulder blades together on purpose, and then you would do the same thing but purposefully move your shoulder blades away from each other, just so you can get used to producing force with straight arms. So this is incorrect. This is a planche lean with no protraction, and then I'm going to protract here. You're going to see the difference. As you can see, I now have a nice curvature in my back, and that will hold my planche lean a lot better than before. So the last one is going to be scapular depression. This basically refers to bringing your shoulder blades downwards, and you can use this in dips, for example. So you want to press down on the dip bars with straight arms, and that is going to elevate your body. So your shoulders and your ears should be close, and that's the bad position. And then you can use scapular depression to bring them away from each other, which will be the good position. And when I say the good position, I mean for the health of your shoulders. So many people get injured on dips, and they talk about shoulder injuries and experiencing these kind of issues on dips. And the reason is they're not used to doing scapular depression. So you can clearly see that movement at the top of each dip right here. It's very distinct, and it's going to help to put my shoulders in the right position when I do dips. to prevent injuries. What most people do, they just walk up, jump up, and yeah, they just fly into it, which is completely incorrect. I'm only going to show a few reps here because I might injure myself, but yeah, those are the scapular exercises. Subscribe.